Alright everybody, welcome back to another review. Today I have with me a brand new product, and it came all the way from Denmark. It's one of the newest oil-based pomades around, and it's been here for only a few months, but not many people actually know about it, and it's called Far's Pomade, which literally means dad's pomade, pop's pomade, whatever you want to call it. But I guess you get the point. This is meant to be one of those old-fashioned pomades with a really traditional feel to it. And brewer who goes by the name Jacob Thorson knows that I really dig the stuff, so he's nice enough to send me a free jar. But please note, this is not a sponsored video. Everything you see here is completely based on my honest opinion and my experiences. So let's talk about the pomade itself now. It comes in a brown tinted glass jar with a black screw top, which reminds you of the Iron Society. Well, this pomade in general actually really does remind me of the Iron Society to some extent. And this design on it is very minimalistic, very simple. There's not much to it, but it's very straight up to the point. It consists of the company logo and the slogan, and the ingredients over here in really small text and just one simple sticker. Some people might have trouble reading the text because it's pretty small, but personally, I don't. It's in Danish, but it's very easily understandable in English. It consists of petroleum, lanolin, beeswax, and fragrance in that order. There's no specific measurement, there's no specific reading on the design telling you how much product you have inside the jar, but if you go to the bottom of the jar, you would see an engraving that says 120, which means 120 milliliters, which is a little over 4 ounces. Now, opening up the jar, you would see a very typical yellow-colored, waxy-looking pomade. This is meant to be a medium hold, but the appearance on it is deceitfully waxy, and I'll talk about it later. But for now, let's discuss the scent. It's pretty light, but once you actually put your nose into it, into the jar, that's when the freshness hits you. It's sort of like a fresh, minty scent. It's meant to be a peppermint scent, but to me, it reminds me of this cough syrup I used to take when I was a kid, so I'm not too crazy about the scent because I keep on smelling cough syrup. It's purely subjective. Some people might like it, some people may hate it. It's like a love it or hate it kind of scent, but I personally, I don't really like the scent if I can be honest. And like I said, the product looks deceitfully waxy. However, if you scoop it out, it comes out really easy, really nice, and just breaks down really smooth. This is one of those medium holding pomades that are very typical of homebrew to have a top layer of waxiness to it, but it actually really is not waxy to scoop out. If you actually dig through the top layer, you might find some kind of solid feel to it. There's like a bit of that solid waxiness, but it doesn't really feel typically waxy or typically hard. It has a very nice softness to it because of the lanolin present in the pomade. That makes it really easy to scoop out. It looks a little waxy, but it's just super easy to scoop out. This is how the top layer comes out. Adding a second scoop over here, and as usual, of course, rolling around with damp hair over here. That is how I normally apply my oil-based pomades, and I believe that it's best to apply oil-based pomades to damp hair, which means your hair should be dripping wet, but just slightly wet, just towel dry for the most part. And as you dig through, get through the bottom layer, as you get through the waxy layer, it scoops out even more creamy without much solidness at all. It feels like a very buttery product, sort of like, it's just very creamy, and I do like it a lot. It doesn't take much pressure to break it down because it breaks down really easily. You don't really have to try hard at that because it just breaks down super easily and goes in your hair really nice as well without any much tension to it, not much resistance. It just goes in pretty much like a light medium. And it feels very lightweight in the hair as well. Now the greasiness factor on it is, I wouldn't say that it's super greasy, but it's not really that apparent, which is actually a good thing because your hair feels pretty clean with this pomade in it. Let's just look everything back. So one of the things I really love about this pomade is the slickness. It has a really, really nice slickness to it. And I think that's one of the strongest points about this pomade right here. The hold might not be a lot for some of you thicker haired folks out there, but for me it really does just fine. It gives me the right amount of hold because I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really need so much hold but a lot of slickness, and that's exactly what this product gives me. It's actually like, it feels pretty lightweight in the hair. It scoops out very soft and very creamy, but it actually holds like a true medium because the slickness just really is very, very prominent here. And you can tell that my comb moves around very easily through my hair. It doesn't feel, say, as easy, like super, super easy as a light pomade, but it just feels like a very soft medium that's not too greasy. Basically, it just has like a creamy feel to comb it around. It's just super easy and I do like it a lot. And the scent just kind of disappears a little once you put it in your hair. So if you don't like the scent, you won't notice too much. And you won't really smell it throughout the day. It's a very light scent. And another plus point about this pomade, just like Bone Crusher, it's one of those pomades with a very nice cooling minty sensation once you put it in your hair. And I really believe that's actually because of the essential fragrance oil in it. Like I said earlier, it's peppermint. And this pomade does not contain any menthol whatsoever, so it definitely comes from the essential oil, the peppermint fragrance oil in it, giving you that nice cooling sensation in your scalp. And I do like that in pomade. It's very special, actually. And I just call it done. And the shine on this is actually really nice as well. You get like a moderate wet look, but they don't overdo it with the wet look. It doesn't make your hair look too greasy. It's a shine that's between medium and high with a moderate amount of a wet look, like a healthy wet look, a healthy medium to high shine. And it does not make your hair look overly greasy, like you douse your hair into large amounts of oil or like a very oily product. The kind of effect that Royal Crown hairdressing would give you, it doesn't give you that. But it's just a very, very nice, healthy sheen, and I do like it a lot. Now here's how my hair looks with the product in it, and as you can tell, there's clearly a nice amount of slickness at play over here, and it gives me a tight look style every time without fail. And the washability on this, it takes about 2 or 3 washes to get the initial amount of product in your hair on the first day out of your hair. And the slickness on this just goes beyond compare if you're on buildup. And the buildup on it, honestly, you won't really get too much of a significant increase in hold. This is not one of those pomades that give you like more hold as you build up even more, but it gets even slicker and you get even more control as you build up. But honestly, it doesn't really add too much hold. Most medium pomades would just become firm by the 2nd or 3rd day, but in my experience, it goes up to maybe at least 3 or 4 days in order to become more of one of those firm holding types throughout the week. But it holds like a true medium on the first day, even though it feels relatively light in the hair. And the build-up factor on it, despite being one of the old school style pomades, it feels pretty clean. It doesn't feel sticky, and it's a pretty clean build-up for what it's supposed to be. And I really do like this about the pomade. And you can tell that I can get a very natural shape with it. My pomade, this pomade always gives me a very good looking style to it. And final verdict on Pop's pomade. This is traditional, really done right. And like I said earlier in this video, this stuff actually kind of does remind me of the Iron Society. And it's sort of like a creamier and softer version of the Iron Society in my opinion, just with a tad less hold, but it's almost the same hold for the most part, and just softer and creamier to scoop out. And I love everything about this pomade except for scent, but that again is purely subjective. You might either love it, you might hate it, but overall it gives you a very nice natural shape to your hair, and it's very, very consistent. I forgot to mention endurance, by the way. It's actually a very consistent product, and the slickness is really, really keeping it up the whole day. I mean, I wouldn't say that you would maintain no movement at all, because you would expect a tiny bit of movement, especially on the first day. But the slickness is really enough to actually hold your hair in place. This is not a sticky product on your hands, but has like a right amount of stickiness to actually hold your hair in place, and it's just very slick, very traditional, and I do love it a lot. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Pot's Pomade. So go get yourself a jar if you're interested, especially if you're into the old school stuff. Nice shine, great styling experience, really quick styling. It gives you really nice slickness and good control. The one thing I'm not too crazy about is the scent. But anyway, before I start repeating myself, I'm just going to go ahead and close this video. And if you do like this video and all the rest of my other content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon to never miss a single upload of mine. I'll see you in my next video. Stay greasy, everybody.